I'm alive.
How do?
How do? So this is Ciara. Little standalone video today. Some of you already know my daughter is not well. She's been diagnosed with anorexia nervosa, an eating disorder. I will tell you now, doing my research and looking into it, it's out of control. I think something like nearly 1 million kids have been referred during lockdown. Of them, 25% get turned away. A big percentage of them are deemed not underweight, even though parents are desperate. It's very little talked about, I think. The truth of the matter is, you know, as soon as you, or if you notice your child, loved one, is losing weight or whatever, it needs challenging, and you need to get in the trenches from day one.
Yeah.
Because that is what ultimately is going to happen.
Yeah,
where we are now, and other people, there's not that much help, and it's basically down to parents, carers, guardians, whoever is looking after them people to get them better. So Ciara, in her story, I'll put a link in the description. I'll put a link to that little vlog, you like that, the little section.
Yeah.
Victim or survivor, whatever you want to say, she was attacked by a scumbag. Who I knew very well because he was on the healthcare at Strangeways. He was called Adam Downworth. I'll put a link in the description here so you can have a look just exactly what he was. 4 charges, all guilty against you. Section 18, Section 20, attempt rape and attempt murder.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
We both think that started you off, kicked you off.
Oh, it did, 100%.
Definitely.
100%. I was never bothered that I was big. I mean, I was never big as a kid. When I met Marv, I was size 8 to 10. He went to jail. I ballooned up to size 18. Didn't bother me. I was more confident as a big girl than I am now. And then obviously when that happened and it come out, he called me fat and stuff, just set off a chain of events.
Did you know something was happening or not?
Mate, no, not at first. Not at first. I just thought, right, I'm going to lose the weight because I was, you know, I was like getting really big. Do you know what I mean? I was 14 stone. Like I said, it didn't bother me, and then that kick-started it, and I wanted to lose weight, and I started going to Slimming World. I mean, in my first week of Slimming World, I lost nearly a stone.
A stone?
I lost, what, did I lose? £10. So that's what.
When you gained weight, were you drinking and that?
No, I was just eating.
Were you?
Yeah. Eating. I was working in a cafe, so obviously you get free food on your break, and then I was going home and I was eating. I never watched calories, I never did anything like that. I was just happy in my own skin.
So at first, Slimming World is like, you know, lots of people go, it works for some people, don't work for others.
Yeah, I lost 2 stone at Slimming World, and then thought, I can do this at home myself. I think I lost 2 stone at Slimming World in about 6 weeks.
Slimmer at week every week.
Got slimmer of the week. Yeah.
Can I ask you, at this point, did you just want to lose weight?
Yeah, I just wanted to lose weight.
Did he call you a fat bastard or something?
He told the police that he couldn't get my pants off because I was fat. And that, well, that's what come out. That's what the police told me. That's why he could get my top off and he could get my bra off, but he couldn't get my pants off. That's how he ended up breaking my toe through the struggle. And at first, like, it didn't stick with me, and then I just thought, see, it was like when Mark attacked me. I cut all my hair off. Like, I used to have long hair and I dyed it blonde to be someone different, and that same happened this time. I wanted to change my whole appearance to be a different person, not knowing how far that I'd actually go with the eating disorder.
So you didn't know at this time?
No, didn't know.
Were you waiting for the trial at this time as well?
Yeah.
So you're waiting for a trial. I can't even, we've said that before, I can't even imagine it's going to be an horrendous trial. We've already said what the charges were, so obviously you'd be just terrified.
Yeah.
At what point can you remember, or did you think, I've got a problem?
Well, you know what it was, right? Bulimia, that's what I had, and anorexia. If people think that it's not an illness and it's not an addiction, they're absolutely stupid. Because it is. It's like a drug. Like, when I started losing weight and everyone's going, oh my God, I'm going in work and I'm going, you look so well, and it gives you that confidence boost, like, you know, a drug. And then the more people said it to me, the more I thought, oh yeah, I'll lose weight. And I remember my dad saying to me, Missy, you've lost loads of weight. Like, my dad liked me, you know, cuddler. And I was like, oh, I'm fine. And then I moved from Gorton. I think I've lost about 4 stone by then.
In how long?
It was only a couple of months.
Is this before the trial?
Yeah, this was before the trial.
2 months, 4 stone?
Yeah, I'd lost I think I lost 6.5, going on 7 stone in the space of about 5 months.
Jeez.
6 months coming up to that. And then I moved to Beswick. And that's when the bulimia kicked in. I wanted to be more skinny. I was thriving off people saying to me, God, you look dead skinny. God, you look dead well. And then the comments come, you need to put weight on. And I get dead offensive thinking, you won't say that to me, I'm still fat. Everyone around there, like my friends, like I post a picture on Instagram.
Did you look shockingly thin?
Shockingly, I look like a pickle on a stick. It was disgusting. My hip bones was jutting out. Like, I've had all my teeth fixed, because with an anorexia, as you know, they don't eat, but with bulimia, you'll eat because you think you're still getting the nutrients, but then you're throwing it straight back up. So all the acid, it affected my teeth. Like, I lost that one at the top, that one at the bottom. I've only just had the hole fixed in that one. My nails are horrendous. My bones are just absolutely... When I was pregnant with my son, it was so painful because my bones are so brittle through it. And then I get bruises dead easy, I get low iron. I looked horrendous. I was going to a christening one day, and I knew I took it too far. My hair was falling out in clumps, and I wanted to get an outfit. Now, I used to be a size 18, and then I went down to a size 6. I couldn't find anywhere that would fit my size in women's from a 4 to a 6. I ended up getting an age 12 play suit to wear to this christening, and my brother's girlfriend's mum still had to sew it at the front to keep it in.
Are people expressing concerns now?
Yeah.
Have you been anywhere?
No. I never got any help for my eating disorder, because still I didn't understand what it was. Like, I didn't...
Did you think you got an eating disorder, or did you just...
I knew something was wrong. And you know when something's wrong when I started hiding it.
You know, the being sick. Can you remember when you first...
Yeah, like, it just come to me. Like, I used to tell, like, little white lies, like, oh, like, that pasta, it's laying heavy on my stomach, it's hurting my belly and stuff like that. And then I trained myself to automatically know how to just be sick, rather than sticking my fingers down my throat and stuff like that. I was skin and bone. I was skin and bone. And then I went to see my psychiatrist because of my bipolar. And he was like, well, you've gone under like 8 stone. I'm like 7 stone something. And then he was like, we need to look into this. And that's when he told me I had bulimia, and I also had body dysmorphia. And that was what tricked my mind into being bulimic, because it's still now, like, if someone gives me a compliment, I'll automatically think you're lying. I can't see what other people see, and that's what body dysmorphia is. It's horrible.
So how long have you had this now? It's 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah, 10 years I've had this now, yeah.
Was there a point when it levelled out, or...?
No, like, I remember going to the trial and I was like stick thin, and I remember thinking, yeah, I hope you look at me now, I'm not fat now. Do you know what I mean? To prove a point. And then obviously the trial, and I started drinking, and I moved to Beswick, and I started getting into sniffing coke. To me, it was the best thing. I didn't need to eat. Like, when you take cocaine, you can go days without eating. So it was speeding up my weight loss anyway. And I think that's why I got more into sniffing cocaine, to keep the weight off. And, you know, I'd go on a 2 or 3 day binge, and then I'd come home and get a takeaway, I'd eat. I'd throw up and then go to sleep, because in my mind, I've had something to eat.
A lot of people used to be given, didn't they, 60s and 70s, amphetamine, slimming tablets.
Yeah, I tried slimming tablets. I was taking, what they called, T5s, I think. You can get them off the internet. And I remember, I started that about 10 days after I got attacked, because I went to my nephew's christening, and I remember taking a couple that morning and tripping over and ripping my pants. And I was really big at his christening, because when I went to his christening, my eyes were still all black and stuff like that. And I just thought, no, I'm gonna change it. But obviously it went too far. It's like you get addicted to it.
So Marvin, you know, he obviously saw this.
Yeah.
What is he saying to you?
He's having a go at me because obviously when I met Marv, I was slim. Then he went to jail for 9 months. When he got out, I was massive. So to me, I'm like, oh God, does he want to know me? It's never bothered him, me being big, in between or slim, until I went to a rake. And he was like, this is just ridiculous. And I'd be like, oh, whatever, you know, everyone's having a go at me. I just want to look my best and I want to do this. You know, then like dye my hair blonde. Just going through like crazy stages of trying to make myself look different. But it's not like, that's why you, like with your daughter, you're trying to understand it, but you'll never be able to understand it because you're not in her position.
It is crazy, it's bananas.
But that must be so hard for you.
Well, obviously, you know, obviously a mum's trying to help her a lot. A mum just is spending all day, which is what people need to realise. It's all day trying to get them to eat.
Yeah, it's not
going through the stress, the screaming, the shouting. You know, I know other people where people are trashing their house, they're self-harming, they're hitting their parents, loved ones.
Yeah, I used to lash out. I used to lash out massively.
Did you ever, obviously we know where my daughter is now, so we're trying to make her, but did anyone, or were you just on your own, sort of?
I was just on my own, like my psychiatrist, he never like offered me anything for it. He just said to the doctor, if she comes in, don't weigh her, she's not allowed to weigh herself. Like, I go to Park House and he'd be like, what do I weigh? He'd be like, I'm not telling you.
Park House, is that where you used to see
It's
them?
a mental hospital, but I'm an outpatient in there. Well, I don't think you should call them mental hospitals too. But yeah, I'm an outpatient in there, so I go in every 3 months. I should do, but because of COVID, I've not been in. And then he was like, I'm not going to weigh you. Like, if it carries on, you are going to end up, like, being an inpatient because of how slim you're going. My bones used to hurt so, like, cold. Oh, it was horrendous. The cold, because you're so slim, there's nothing, you know, to protect you from the cold.
My daughter's same. Kids get cold, hands get cold, feet get cold. I don't understand that, how you've managed it, or how, because it's so difficult without any help.
I've not managed it. I'm still going through this. I'm still going through it. Like, about a month ago, I got back into it. Because I've lost weight again. I put a little bit of weight on in lockdown and I thought I'm shifting it. And the community health nurse come out to me. She didn't know I wasn't allowed to be weighed. And she'd looked at the doctor's record and she said, oh, you've just lost over a stone.
Did you let her weigh you?
Yeah, I couldn't wait for the to weigh me. I couldn't wait to find out, because I knew I'd put weight on, so I thought, well, if I get a number, I can work on it. The minute she left my house, I downloaded this app, and I scan every single thing I eat, so it'll tell me my calories, my fats and stuff like that. And then my clothes have got baggier, and I was starting to make myself sick again. But I talked to Marv about it, so if I eat something, I'll say to him, please tell me I don't need to be sick. I get like voices in my head that will tell me you need to be sick, and it's not like a fake feeling. Like, sometimes I cannot help myself but be sick, and then I'll cry and think I'm going back to square one. Like, I don't want to ruin my teeth again. You know, I don't want my son like seeing his mum eat and then want to rush to the toilet, because people think only women and girls get it, and that's not the truth. Males get it.
Of course they do. I tell you what, I just started reading a book my sister bought me. You know, Christopher Eccleston is one of Doctor Who's. If I showed you a picture, you'd know we were well-known actor all his life with anorexia.
Yeah, it's terrible. Do you know what? I've said it to you before, though. Social media's got a lot to answer for it. Like, I used to go on Instagram and like zoom in on girls' pictures and think, I want to be that slim. I'm not knowing in my mind, they're all photoshopped. I had to come, you know, off Instagram because I'll show you this picture, and this night, oh, I felt great. And that is the picture that I look at and think, oh my God, how could I do that? My arms was half the size they are now. Like, I was just skeleton, and I was tired all the time. So it makes you lethargic, doesn't it?
Of course it does. It. You know, my daughter's on bed rest, which basically means she doesn't do anything. She can't do anything.
No.
She's got no energy. Do you have a scales at home?
No, I'm Marvin won't let me have scales.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not allowed scales.
So, obviously when when I first started coming over here and seeing you, I'd bring lunch. I brought salads and stuff like that. Before I realised I did actually consciously then feel a bit guilty, because I didn't know now. Then, obviously, with my daughter now, there's a language in there.
Yeah.
With my daughter, you can't talk about calories. You can't congratulate her if she eats some. You can't say, "Do you want breakfast?"
No.
It's like, "Are you having your Weetabix?" Or it's a whole new language. You can get upset about it. My daughter at the minute has refused to be weighed, and you know, so I'm just thinking.
That's not a bad thing though, that she's refusing to be weighed.
I know. I honestly, for me, it's just about being healthy. They should talk about being healthy.
Yeah, of course they should.
Parents need to know. We know when our daughter were healthy, you know, her weight obviously, and what she is now, which is worlds apart. And that's what they should be talking about. But the professionals, you know, we've had people come and weigh her. One lass come and weighed her and said to her and us, "Oh, she's maintained." So my daughter's eating nothing. She weighs her a week later, she's maintained. That was it. She stopped eating. She didn't need to eat because she'd maintained.
They shouldn't even be telling her.
They shouldn't discuss it, should they?
No, they shouldn't be telling her. Like, when I used to go to Park House to Dr. Adria, he'd speak to Marv about it. And Marv would tell him, like, well, what was up to. Because my family didn't know about my eating disorder. Like, obviously, I didn't live with him. They didn't need to know. They just thought, oh, she's on a diet now. Do you want to stop now on the diet? But then my dad would go, "Now look what you've just said, Ciara. How do you stay so slim?" And I'm thinking in my back of my mind, because you don't know that I'm, you know, spewing my guts up every time. I'm just like, oh, I need the toilet.
See, even that, when you say you learn how to be sick, me, I tell you what, if I live next door to you, and it's very rare I'm sick, you know, in the past 20 years, winter vomiting, but alcohol, but it hasn't been very often. But you'd think someone was being murdered. My body does not want to let go. It's horrendous. So even that, just, you know, have you ever done the exercising thing?
Me, yeah, I used to run.
Explain this as well, because again, people need to understand.
That's another addiction that I got, exercising. When you lose weight, when you're a big person and you lose weight, in the time that I lost weight, it's not healthy for your body. So your body isn't gonna go to the Instagram models. You're gonna be left with loose skin. Now when Marv reads it, listens to this, he'll go mad, because he always goes, "There's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing." I'll say to him 20 times a day, "Have I put weight on? Have I put weight on?" I don't know how I don't drive him mad. Or I'll be in the mirror with my top lifted up, doing my stomach look bloated, he'd be like, "Ciara, you look fine." But yeah, I got into exercise. Used to go to the gym 2-3 times a day if I could. Got Marv to learn me how to box. Then I started running, and running was my thing. Earphones in, block the world out. I could run. One day I ran 10 miles. Easy pickings. Every day I'd run at least 10 miles. But I wouldn't just run once a day. I could run multiple times a day. And just keep going and keep going till the point where I'm exhausted.
You're still a young lass, aren't you? Do you know now your body that it has affected you? Can you tell now?
Massively, yeah. Massively.
And this is the difficult thing again. You know, I try and tell my daughter, you know, you got to think when you're older, you know, it can affect whether you can have kids, it can affect your bones.
Right now, she's not listening. Right now, you're talking to a brick wall, because she's just starting it, and she's going to think what I thought. You don't understand. Like, people used to say, you're attention seeking, like, you know you're slim, why are you asking? It's not, it's a disease, it's an illness.
I'll tell you now, you having said that, our doctor, yeah, I think, thought this is a brat. His attitude, the missus went the first couple of times, and the missus at work, I took her, and I was looking at him, and the way he was talking and that, I think it was something he didn't want to concern himself. It was a pain, and he was talking really like she was just a brat. In hospital, you know, twice she's been in hospital, paediatric ward. The nurses there aren't trained with eating disorders. They're not trained with mental illness, mental health. A couple of them were just nurses like they are, you know, they're caring people, aren't they? They're empaths. But a couple of them, how they were talking, it was just like she was a brat. You know, it's very rare that you get young kids in hospital, thankfully. It is very rare. And, you know, they were talking, it was just very matter of fact. And it was almost threatening her all the time. You know, have you not ate your breakfast yet? You know,
that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, have you not ate your breakfast yet? If you don't eat it, you're going to have a tube.
No, that's the worst thing you can do. She's a child. You know, she's a child. Like, there's not... Why do they teach stupid things in school? Why not teach about stuff like that, eating disorders?
Sorry, when I was talking to Marv, I talked about educating kids, right? Abuse, drugs, you know, violence, domestic violence, criminal justice, prison and that. That's something I should have brought up. Social media, you know, what's healthy. And just talk about healthy, not weight. Talk about being healthy. And maybe looking at what to eat, because... To be honest, a lot of kids now, you know, fast food's out of control and that, innit? They don't particularly eat well.
No, they don't.
You know, we struggle with my daughter, you know, what you want them to eat and what you can get them to eat, but just fucking educate them.
That's it. Like, I know my little boy is only 2, but if he doesn't eat, I noticed he was doing it, and Marv had to pull me aside. I was basically saying, you're not getting out your high chair till you eat your dinner. You've eaten it. I wouldn't let him. And Marvin was saying, you're going to give him a food complex, because I'd be like, you're sitting there, or like, I'd spoon feed him and go, just eat it. You know, because I'd get in my mind, oh, he'd be starving. Marvin said to me, you are going to give him a complex with food. If you try and force him to eat food, and it's true, like, so in school, they'll teach you sewing and woodwork. Why have they not got proper stuff that who's really going to come out and do woodwork and sewing?
You know, there is time in school, you know, 2 hours a week, get people in, get them in assembly hall, deliver it, you know, get the very young ones in, the middle age and the older ones, and deliver it. I'm quite sure they would listen, rather than sat in a bloody class doing some arty-farty crap
shit that they don't want to
toss that's not going to help them in life.
No.
Get real people in there.
There's not enough awareness, and I don't understand. Like, with your girl, I told you from the beginning when you started talking to me about it, they're just going to blame it on her hormones, and it's disgusting.
They do, yeah.
It's how can you call that being a brat and attention seeking? Like, attention seeking, being a brat is, you know, I'm not having that for tea, you're going to make me something else, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
That's not attention seeking. She's ill.
It's I don't know. Social media definitely has a massive part to play.
Massive.
Do you still go on Instagram?
Mate, I try and stay off Instagram, mate. If I post, see my Facebook, it's only pictures of my baby. I'm not into posting selfies and all that. I stay away from all that now. And then maybe I'll share that to Instagram, but I don't go like on the pages anymore and go on the search bar. And I did a few weeks ago. I started, you know, getting back into it.
Do you think, they were on about it, I don't think they've done it, this not putting the likes up and stuff like that, do you think that would help?
Yeah, of course it would. Do you know what would help if you got rid of Photoshop? Like, you see, you go on a website. I was looking on Shein the other day. I'm looking at clothes and I thought, the wall in the background, it's wonky. You can always tell, you know, if they make mistakes like that. So we're wasting it like that. And she ain't got a Kim K ass, and neither's Kim Kardashian. It's all what girls like as young as your daughter doesn't know is, right, there's this girl on Instagram, she was on Big Brother, right? And she was doing these training videos, how to squat and get a big ass, and then it come out in the paper a few weeks ago that she'd had the fats up from her sides and put in her ass, and then she'd had collagen put in her ass. But you're telling young girls, train, like, you'll get like this. So them young girls are thinking, well, you're only doing half an hour exercise, how are you getting slim? It's all lies, it's all like, it's all a big show. So for people like your daughter, I'd say luckily I was old, you know, like I went like 15, 16. I think if he had it would have been a lot worse. Because I was older and I had Marv, who was obviously, you know, older, and he had my family.
How important is that, having someone who understands and is telling you, I love you, how you are, it don't matter where you are.
That is it. That is the most important thing. Because when it's like your girl, she's lost faith and she's lost hope right now, like I did. But you're strong and I'm strong, and she'll get there. I know in my heart she'll get there. The more you help her and the more she sees, look, you know, you don't know what she's thinking in her mind. Is she lonely? Is she, you know, with the illness, people don't understand her. Has she got another mental health illness like I did? You know, you're in a lost world. But
Did you have any OCD?
I've got OCD. I mean, you see my house every time you come in.
Yeah, I know. A lot of kids again develop OCD.
I told you when social services got involved when I was pregnant, they used to come in my flat and you say, well, how are you going to cope with it with a baby?
Explain why they got involved.
They got involved because of my mental health and because obviously I used to take cocaine and I'd go on benders and I'd come back after like a day or whatever and I'd go, where have you been?
Yeah, but how did social services know this?
They do background checks.
What, when you got pregnant?
Yeah, they do, but my psychiatrist...
Oh, right.
Has to inform that because I'm on medication.
Right, that's what I meant. So basically, he referred you to social services.
Yeah, but didn't tell me. He didn't remember that. One day I've gone shopping for the baby's clothes. He was only about 5 months pregnant. I've come home and there was a social services card. And remember I told you I got very paranoid. I went to Marvin, have you written that to scare me? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I said, right, I'm ringing a solicitor. So I rang a solicitor first. So she said, ring them and like see like if you've got what it is. And they was like, I told you, basically you don't have to work with us, but we need to come out and see you. So I phoned the solicitors back and they said, we'll just see what they want. You don't legally have to work with them, but they will take you to court. So when they come round and then they explained about, my bipolar, because obviously the medication I take, they had to, do my levels.
Watch me being pregnant.
In case it travels to his bloodstream. And that's how they got involved. And like I had a normal midwife, a mental health midwife. I had a mental health midwife that was there when I was in labour because it can, spark off
of course
your mental health. And I remember
it can in normal people.
Yeah, of course it can. So with me, but that's how they got involved. And then when he was like 12 weeks, well, I'm telling you, they jumped through hoops. Like they'll just turn up at your door. I remember one day he was 5 weeks old and I'd been up all night, and she turned up at my door and I was going ballistic like. But that's what they do. But you jump through hoops and you show him, and then he got signed off when he was 12 weeks old. But that's what I'm saying. If people help you with your mental health, it shouldn't get to the stages where, like, you're hearing it all the time. People are killing themselves now with it. Like, what's it going to take to wake up and just like, it's the young generation that they need to help with it. There's going to be. Can you imagine what it's going to be like in like 5-10 years? Can you imagine?
Well, I think it's around about 850,000 that have been referred during lockdown, that's kids, to CAMS, which is mental health, and most of it is eating disorders.
Yeah, it will be.
Nearly 1 million kids.
It's disgusting. I find it sickening, me. Obviously, you couldn't out with COVID. Like, I've not seen my psychiatrist since baby was like 4 months old. I've had telephone appointments. But I think you should, all right, COVID's there, but they still should be allowed, help. Like your daughter, they can see she's underweight. What's it going to take? She's been admitted to hospital. Like,
I think there's just the services are massively overwhelmed and not necessarily fit for purpose.
No, they're not.
Although I will say that there is good people within that system.
Yeah, there is.
I've spoke to and we have met some people who would be fantastic, and if they had the time
and the resources to back them, and that is what's like horrible, because some people do genuinely care in that profession and do want to help you, but they've got no backing to do it.
So, have you got anything further to add?
Hang in there, you and your lass. Just keep doing what you're doing. Right now I know you feel helpless and you feel like you're not doing anything.
It's different for me and our lass because we've said this, haven't we? Mums are mums. End of the day, mums nurture. It don't matter how good a dad you are, you're not the same. So, mum, and it's draining her, is doing her bit. And then basically my role now is to support mum.
Yeah, of course.
And do what I can. That's how it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel sorry for people who are on their own.
I do, massively.
And people who had good jobs, who've had to pack work in to look after the kids.
And that's what I mean, they go under the radar. Like, they don't feel like they've got, like I said, it's lonely. It's like any mental health illness. It's a lonely road. Like, I can't even imagine how your daughter feels.
Yeah, you just have to.
Like, I can sit here and go, oh no, no, don't, because every illness is different. Like, mine was different. Like, someone else that's got anorexia is different to your daughter.
Yeah, of course it is.
Well, I truly believe I do, and I'm not bullshitting, I won't sit here and say it to her. I do think she'll get there because she's got a strong backing behind her. She's just got to believe in herself first.
which is difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult.
Well, Ciara, thank you for your honesty.
You're welcome.
Maybe do an update in 12 months. We'll think how we're going to put this, because, you know, if 500 people watch this and it helps them.
Just helps one of them, you've done your job.
It does. Thanks, sweet.
You're welcome, I'm proud of you all.
Ciara, thank you very much, love.
You're welcome.
I'll see you.